Yo guys, in this video we'll texture this outfit in Substance Painter. Check out the previous part if you want to see the modeling process, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay guys, so that's where we left off in the last video. Let's start with the UV unwrapping process. So what we should do is first make our UV arrangement in this view here. So let's just do that. Basically what we want to do is bring all our patterns close to each other so we can pack them all into one square. Okay, so that's kind of what I got. Let's now go into the UV editor and actually do the whole UV unwrapping thing. So first things first, we want to right click and reset UV to 2D arrangement. So this will basically make it in this view as it is here. So now we need to locate all our patterns in this square, like right in the middle between those two green and red lines, and we want to pack them as close to each other as possible. Want to just squish them in there, and I will do my both parts, jeans and the shirt separately, because I kind of want a shirt to be a bit more resolution, so it should be a bit bigger in this view. Let's kind of just place it like that, see what we got. Let's make the sleeve relatively the same size, so I don't have any unnecessary stretching or different resolution. Okay, now how can we fit it? Let's see. If we place it like right here, like right to the edge, we can now move this part so it doesn't mess it up, and we might want to push it a bit more to the left like this so it doesn't go out the border. Okay, that was great. Now for the second mesh, again we might want to remove these parts. They'll kind of mess it up a bit. It's honestly a pretty easy process, especially in this case where we only got like 2 items. It should be pretty straightforward. Just cram it in there as close to the border as possible, but make sure it doesn't touch any of the other garments. And yeah, now we only got the sleeve. Great. Oh, and the button. We can even make the button bigger. It doesn't really matter. Okay, let me check. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the UV unwrapping process. So let's now hit Ctrl S. Want to save our project. Now to export this file into Substance Painter to start with texturing, the process for me is a bit difficult, but I'll walk you through it. So first we select all of our patterns, hit File, Export. I usually export as an alembic. Let's now save it. Female mannequin clothes. Let me see. Okay. Here are my settings. I'm pretty sure they're like default, but if anything is different, I advise you to change it. I mean, probably the most important part is to change from thick to thin. It'll just make it way easier. Yeah, like, I see no point in making it thick. If anything, you can make it thick later. Let's now move into Blender. Here I already got my scene. It's pretty much the same as it is in Marvelous Designer, since I exported my base from here. Hit File, Import, Alembic. Let's now locate my file. Here it is. And now the second part is that the clothing from Marvelous Designer is usually huge. An easy way to fix this is to just hit S and scale it down like this. Let's now bring our camera a bit closer. Just hit S and just see. Yeah, so it sits right on the clothing or on our mannequin. Here too, hit S, just scale it out a bit. And another issue in our case, it is definitely not the case for like every time, but in my case we have to do a bit of sculpting in this part because it intersects with our mannequin. It's pretty quick though, so yeah, just check if everything looks good. We can also go into the edit mode, see that everything looks good. We got our UV, great. Let's now hit F3, all transforms. It will apply all the transforms we have just done to it. And yes, now that we got our model in Blender, let's select it again, only the clothing, hit export, FBX. Now, those are some very important settings, so watch out. We should select mesh, selected objects, so only the clothing that we selected will get exported. Up Z-axis and forward Y-axis, apply transforms. Even though we have already done that, we can do it again. And to deselect animation, because we don't have any animation in our case. So let's now actually make a new folder in the texture clothing and export it as a female mannequin cloth export FBX. Great. Now we can finally go into Substance Painter to start with the texturing process. Let's wait for it to load. Here we are. Now to start our process in Substance Painter, let's just locate our mesh we just exported, and here it is, female mannequin cloth export. Just drag it into Substance Painter, hit OK, and here we got it. We can finally start the process. Great. So first things first, what you need to do before doing anything in Marvelous or in Substance Painter, you need to bake your mesh maps. To do that, go into Texture Set Settings, Bake Mesh Maps. I usually go with 4K. If you have a lower end PC, you might want to go with something like 2K, because it's less dependent. Then super sampling 4X and use slow polymesh as high polymesh. Bake selected textures. Great. Now we just wait again. Return to painting mode, and here we got it. You can see it looks way better. We got those like ambient occlusion maps and stuff like this. The curvature map, basically everything we'll need for the texturing process. Now, again, before I start, I would also point some things out. So I have already found some references. Let me first of all open my reference board for the outfit. So we'll be making mostly this outfit. The jeans are pretty much the same, but I want to make the texture more like this. And the top the shape of it is like this, but we'll be probably making it pink, somewhere like so. And for the textures, I have already found some images online of some Ed Hardy designs. You can just search it on Google, Ed Hardy pink. It'll just give you a bunch of different results for shorts and hoodies. You can just basically read the designs of them. So here I got it, a pretty high quality image. We'll be able to just overlay it on the texture. Also cut out this design in Photoshop from this image. We'll also be able to put it somewhere. And also I made some quick alpha channels like this. For what? Basically for stuff like this here. You can't really see it right now, but I guess those like little shiny pearls. I think it looks pretty good. We can just scatter them around our shirt. So yeah, I'll basically use these as alpha maps. So yeah, that's pretty much it for what I'll be using. Let's finally get into it. Oh, and another part is that I got my own denim materials, which I use in most of my projects. Got some denim bases, which I made myself. Like that, those are all looping. If you want, you can screenshot them. It will work to an extent. I think it'll look good. But I'll definitely make them purchasable later when I figure this out, so you'll be able to download them too, to maybe buy them. But for right now, a lot of these textures you can find them on Google. They're free, a lot of them. So yeah, let's finally start with the process. Enough yapping. First things first, let's make a new folder and a new fill layer. Call this folder denim. Base color. Let's now drag and drop one of our textures. I think I'll use this one. Yeah, we'll be able to get a pretty good result of that. So I want a base color and height. Just drag and drop them to our project. Here we're gonna select color, roughness and height. And just drag them in. The roughness, I usually set it around 0.8 for jeans, because they're pretty non-reflective most of the time. We can now scale down our texture like this, so it's pretty close to how it is in real life. Yeah, I guess somewhere like this. Maybe just a bit smaller. Okay, yeah, this looks good. Now we want to deselect our height from this layer. Hit Ctrl D and rename this layer to base height. Here we only want to select height with our image again. Add black mask, add fill. And what we can do now is basically, let me show you, control the amount of height we have on the jeans. The value I usually go for is around 0.4. Yeah, it works great for most jeans. Okay. Now we gotta mess with the color. Now I want it to be kind of like this, kind of dark and stuff, and maybe for this case it would be better to use this image, or maybe even this one, but I'm not sure. I think we'll be able to achieve the same effect with this image. So first we want to add fill, only leave color. Let's now pin drop color from here, something like this. Yeah, I also usually try different blending modes, like overlay. In this case, it probably doesn't work. Soft light, hard light, multiply. Divide. Nah. So yeah, I think in this case we just want to leave it at normal and just decrease the opacity. Now what will really bring this to life is if we add a filter and color correct. Now here we can control all different types of colors, like the contrast of the shadows. That's pretty much exactly what we want, actually. Midtones, generally not that important. We can increase the luminosity though. And don't worry about these lines for now. They'll get covered with a bunch of layers we'll be adding. So this is really not the issue. So yeah, we mainly just want to increase the contrast of shadows. This will give us that nice blue crispy jeans look. Yeah, great. Also, I forgot to add black mask on our denim folder and only apply it to the jeans. It's pretty important. Here only the jeans, no shirt, no buttons. Okay, now, how do we achieve this kind of effect, like those lines going on? I think it's pretty cool and insanely easy. So we just want to search for denim, drag and drop it into our folder. And here we basically just got all the sauce. Yeah, we got everything. So what I usually take from here is frayed edges, vertical rip threads, maybe even white under threads, why not? Come on. Discoloration folds. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's hit Ctrl C, delete the denim, hit Ctrl V, and start going through our new added layers one by one. First of all is folds. For this layer we gotta mess with the levels a bit to make it not stand out as much, like that. Maybe also tweak the blur. Oh, maybe not. I think it looks pretty good like it is. Yeah, okay. Decrease the height, I think. It's usually the way. And set the opacity to 2. Maybe 3. Yeah, 3. Or maybe even 4. Yeah, 4. Now for some discoloration. Looks good. Why not add it? Just a little bit. Like so. White under threads. Now, I don't see them in a lot of pants. But I think for the vibe we're going right now, they're actually not that bad. Maybe if we even add some levels. We can kind of make them a bit less visible. Yeah, and I think that's pretty good. Now, the main part. Vertical ripped threads. Now, that's what we're looking for. That's the look we really want to achieve. But first of all, I want to make them maybe a bit more blue. Oh no, those are the wrong ones. My bad. Yeah, these ones. Yeah, like so. Now we gotta mess with the levels a bit. So this will make them like really visible. Let's see. I think I want to definitely increase the contrast. Maybe increase this a bit. Okay, warp. I think warp is pretty good. And okay, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Now, I usually also decrease the height of these threads, and of course the opacity of them. We want to make them visible but not stand out as much as in this picture. Okay, and yeah, I think this is a really good base for our jeans. And the final part is frayed edges. First of all, let's rotate them, and we definitely need to scale them because they are really small right now. Yeah, like that, kind of. I also usually remove the height from this one and remove the color from both layers. Let's now add some blur. Okay, and now we can put our frayed edges in a folder, add a black filter, fill, and now we again can control the amount of frayed edges. I like to keep it pretty low, like 0.37. I think is good in this case. Yeah, looks pretty good. Okay, now let's start with all the details, with all the spice. We gotta make them kind of, you know, worn out and stuff. And for that I also got a folder in my denim parts. Yeah, so here I basically just got a bunch of images of different jeans, so like you can just use them. Again, all of these images are taken straight from the internet, from Google, from Pinterest, so you can find them for free. Just gotta do a bit of research. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Okay, let's now focus on this one. And first things first, I want to kind of make the edges white, like they are in our case. Let's make a new fill layer, leave it on white. Name it, oh man, my bad. Name it light edges. Add black mask, add generator, UV border control. Just make them really small like this. Yeah, great. Blur them out a bit now. And under these light edges, we want to make dark edges. Now that's the method. We want to make it dark and just a bit bigger than the white edges. Also a bit like this. Okay, yeah, that's looking good. Gotta make the dark a bit. Yeah, just like that, so it's really subtle, but it's definitely seen. Now I want to pull out my final set of textures, which are stitches. Those are also all made by me, but you can find them online if you just search jeans seams seamless like this. You should get some free images. So yeah, for the first part, for this one I actually think I'll use my belt edge one. Yeah, it should work great. Add it into the project and just start messing around. Just buff folds, make a new one. Name it pocket edge one. Just drag it in. UV wrap to none, or nah. UV wrap to repeat. My bad. Now let me see, where is it? Because I don't really remember. Oh my god, guys. There is an issue. There is really an issue. It's really easily fixable though. So basically what happened is our part here got under the pocket. Oh man. It's an easy fix though. We just gotta select it, hit unfreeze, and set delay to 1. That's quite literally all we need to do. Can also select these two, set them to 1, 2. Yeah, okay, just like that. Here we basically just fixed it. Now we can hit export, alembic, basically do the whole process again. Re-export it as an alembic. Now here, re-export it or re-import it as an alembic. Okay, now it's good. And scale it down a bit. Apply transforms, sculpt brush. Sculpt it in the edges. And export as an FBX. Export. Now here we can hit re-import mesh and rebake our selected textures. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole fix. Now yeah, now it looks great. So let's continue. Okay, so we can now align our pocket edge. Let's create a black mask again and only apply it on these two parts, which we just fixed in Marvelous Designer. Okay, now we just gotta align the image with the actual parts. Like, they also cover a bit of the stitching part, so we can use it too. Doesn't really matter. Okay, like that for the first one. We'll actually deselect this one, then make a duplicate, move it slightly to the right, and apply it on this part. Great. Okay, the colors are of course a bit different, so let's work on that. We can do that by adding a filter to our layer, color correct again, and increasing the contrast of shadows probably. That is almost always the first step. You might also want to decrease the saturation of midtones a bit. Highlights too. Let's mess with the contrast in those parts. Okay, and maybe change the opacity. Yeah, I'm kind of digging it, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe also bring down the luminosity of shadows. This might help a bit. Just increase the contrast again. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good, I think. So we can now copy this filter onto the second one and also make it 46 in the opacity. Great, starting to come together. Let's now work a bit more on the pockets, especially on this like stitches on the outline on it, or I guess they are more like seams. Yeah, I think I got a picture in my denim textures. Yeah, it would be stitches, stitch 1, yeah, the exact one, just what we're looking for. Let's make a new fill layer, pocket outline, seam, only leave base color again, and drag and drop it. Now we'll actually need a lot of these layers to basically cover each one of these parts. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's like 10 each. Sometimes you gotta do some manual labor though with these art projects, so it's all good. So make it even bigger actually, so why not? We should now align it. Again, add black mask, just paint it around where we want it. We can also add a blur filter to the mask. Probably also remove it, yeah, from here. Okay, real quick. Actually it takes some time because the scene is pretty heavy with all the textures. Okay, now we can add another color correct node. Again, I'll probably want to decrease the saturation. Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Decrease the luminosity of midtones too. Increase the contrast of shadows. Maybe even decrease the luminosity of highlights. But I don't want them to be that visible. Yeah, just something like that. Once I'll come. Yeah, and I think the blur on the mask is too much. It's kind of basically blurring out too much. Okay, now we just gotta duplicate it 5 times. Here and here. Yeah, on this part too. I'll probably speed this part up, so let's go. Okay guys, we're finally done. Here we got our outline seam. Let's continue. Now, what else do I want to add right now? I think our jeans need some like wrinkles and stuff, if you know what I'm talking about. So how can we do that? Let's make a new fill layer at the very top. Name it like small wrinkles. If that's what they're called, I don't really know. Like folds and stuff. Add fill. Here like cloth fold, something like that. I usually use this one. Now we gotta scale it down. Maybe increase the height, so we really see it. At least for now. And maybe we wanna stretch it out a bit to make it maybe a bit more believable. Now we gotta mess a bit with the balance, like so, and add a blur filter so it doesn't stand out as much as it is right now. Yeah, like that. Great. Now of course we don't need that much folds, so set the value to not the highest one, something like 0.18 should work pretty good. Now I'm kind of contemplating on vertical threads now, I'm not gonna lie. They definitely do add some charm, but they might just be too much at this point. If we set them to like 12, I think it will be better. And another thing is that we maybe want to mess with the whole folder of denim. If we add something like HSL, which is hue, saturation, lightness, and increase the saturation of our jeans a bit, it's gonna be pretty handy. You see what this does? Basically made our jeans a bit more blue. And to be honest, I kind of like it. Yeah, maybe we could even increase the vertical rib threads again. Not by too much, maybe to like 18. Yeah, looks good. Also, another thing I forgot with our... where was I? With our dark edges, is that I also usually add some height. Like this, you feel me? Yeah, not that much though. Probably want to add it in the light edges part. Yeah, just a tiny bit of height. It doesn't add too much, but you know, still a nice touch. Now another thing I want to add straight away, like at this point, is the darkening. Now what is it? Here, let me find a good image. Like even in this case, as you can see, in those parts, in the crotch area, like here between the legs, there's usually a bit darker denim than on the rest of the jeans. Like even in this case, as you can see, it kind of adds some contrast to the whole pattern, and I really like it. So what we can do, let's make a new fill layer, name it dark contrast, for example. Make the color not fully black, but like bluish black, yeah, like that, like dark blue, and just paint it around the mesh, especially in the inside a bit, like this. It might look a bit weird at the moment, but trust me, with some blurred stuff, it should look pretty good. I'm gonna add some here. And here on the sides. At the bottom too. And here on the belt. Yeah guys, as you remember, we got a whole belt here. We need to actually make it a bit more bright. And now, when we finally add blur and increase it, look at that. Just doesn't it look perfect? Okay, it definitely doesn't right now. But just wait a second, it definitely will. Just like make it really dirty. That's the word, just make it like feel dirty. Feel grungy. That's what we want to do with those like vintage style jeans. Make them look old, make them look really old. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Perfect. Now let's just decrease the opacity. Maybe remove some of it from here. And yeah guys, here we got them. The beautiful jeans. Now I also forgot the discoloration in the back. For some reason this filter usually does not add them, so we gotta do it ourselves. Let's name it the back this color. Keep the same color as on this layer. Add black mask, and again it's usually right under the cheeks. I can try it in between of here. Maybe some here and some here. That is usually the pattern for the back discoloration. Now again increase some blur. And just make it like 5. Maybe even 4. Just so it's barely visible, but it's there. Okay, great. Now all we gotta do is just add more details. So let me go into my denim parts folder again and just search for some stuff. Let's see. What can we do? Maybe let's actually get the belt done, since it's like one of the most important parts of this whole pattern. It will really make it stand out. Again, how do we want to do it? I think we could just duplicate this very first pocket edge we made, because it's pretty much the same texture, if you think about it. And make it into belt. Maybe bring it at the bottom, so they don't get lost. Now let's just align the texture with the actual belt pattern. Just gotta find it first. Yeah, I think it's here. Yeah, great. Okay, awesome. Let's now add a black mask. Just gonna paint it around here. And we want to keep those like nice folds at the bottom too, so I'll just duplicate the same layer. Maybe not the most efficient method, but always works for the best result. Also, we don't want any of that on our belt loops, so let's clear them of it. Also might want to remove some of the stuff from the middle, like it is in the reference image. Some tweaks with the color correct node will always do the trick. Just kinda made it a bit brighter. Yeah, great. And it also projected onto this part of our jeans. We don't want that. Yeah, okay, great. Awesome. Now let's just duplicate it 2 more times for this one. Just gotta align it. Yeah. Okay. And the belt is pretty much done actually. You see guys, it's all not really that difficult, just basically aligning the textures, projecting them properly, adding all the needed layers, like the process is pretty straightforward. Now we can move on to the belt, or more like to the waist part of the pattern. Again, what will we use? The same exact belt copy. Because it's just useful, like genuinely. You really don't need nothing else other than this one. Get it nice and smooth on there with all the stitches, great. Also, we obviously don't want it to be that bright, so again, in this case we have to bring the luminosity down. Maybe even bring the opacity down. Yeah. And where's the other part? Is this it? Here it is. Okay. Great. Great. Now, what else do we need? Let's now go to the back piece. We need to do some stuff here too. For this one, we'll use actually the same stitches from this part. Let me find them. The pocket outline ones, yeah. Let's rename to back stitch. And move them to the back. So the first stitch we wanna place it around here. Yeah, just like that. Or maybe not there, maybe in the bottom would be better. Let's see. Yeah, I think this looks way better. And for the other side, I want to do the exact same thing. Okay, yeah, great. And now some stitches going through the middle. From this side, I think. Yeah. Again, we'll have to make a lot of duplicates to fit this curve. Okay, so here's the stitch. Great. Our pants are really starting to get together. There's really not a lot of stuff left to do. Let's now go with the belt loops. Let me see where I got them. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. I think I usually use this one and it should work perfectly in our case. Make new layer called belt loop. We gotta now check the image in, UV wrap to none. And just kind of align it with a belt loop. Okay. Now we gotta add a color correct filter again, because as you can see the color is not the same at all. Decrease the shadows. Okay, we got the last duplicate. And here they are. The belt loops are done. Now also we want to do some stuff to the front. Like especially to this part there is also like a little stitch going. So let's duplicate it, rename it to front stitch. Drag it to the top. Align it and draw it. In this case we also might want to add like a blur filter, just because just because why not. Do the same for the opposite side, of course. And actually, I think we also want to add it on the crotch pocket. Yeah, like this. As you can see in the reference image. It might look a bit weird, but I mean, that's kind of how it is. Okay, yeah, this actually makes quite a lot of sense. Like, it would be put there, if you think about it. Now, we also have to do a very important step, is to add ambient occlusion in these pockets, because now they feel kind of flat. So let's do just that. Name the layer AO pockets. Only leave black color. Drag this layer to the very top, because we don't want it to be covered by anything else. Maybe even make the roughness like almost 1. Just make it matte. Also, let's save real quick. Saving is important. Now we can add... No, we can go into Smart Map, search for occlusion, drag and drop it. Okay, great. Now the most important step is to add filter, blur to the mask. And now look at that. Drag and drop it all to here. And just apply it to all these parts. Yeah, it just looks awesome, right? I know. Maybe on these pockets too. You know, just to add some spice. Maybe in here too. Like, why not? Like, it'll be aesthetic model anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Really got it almost done. Just got some more steps left. First of all, we need like a seam going at the bottom. And try to guess what we'll use. Of course, no, not the belt loop. Like the... what you call it? Like a... nah. Wait, what's the gold? I forgot. Oh... man. Yeah, pocket edge. My bad, guys. So now we rename it bottom seam. Again, remove the mask. Place it on the bottom. And again, mess with the color correct to make it not stand out as much. Yeah, like this. Great, awesome. Next, let's maybe add some details in the front. I actually got an image just for that. Where could it be? Huh. Let me think. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one. This exact one. Just drag and drop it. Go to the almost very top. What can you feel there? Name it front details. Again, only leave base color and drag and drop the image in the base color. Also, usually set the UV wrap to none, just easier to work with. And now we can align it. Also, in this case, what we might want to do is to set the projection to warp projection. Now it will actually let us kind of place this this image in the 3D space, as opposed to like this 2D view. And it's a pretty neat tool, if I say so myself. I'll also use it on another occasion in this video, like right now with the side stitches, so stick around for it. I'm gonna explore it some more. Let's just place it around the same position where it is in the actual model. Yeah, like this. Bring it up maybe, because why not? Yeah. Now I'm just kinda, you know, clearing out the space so it's visible. Yeah, just like that. Now we can add a filter again. In this case, yeah, we gotta start with the color correct. We can actually just decrease the saturation of the shadows. Yeah, and make this whole thing and bring the opacity of it down. Okay, yeah, something like this. Just some calm. Also, in this case, I might want to add HSL and just kind of tweak it so it's the same color as the rest of the jeans, because right now I feel like it's a bit out of it. Yeah. Pretty difficult task actually, if I'm being honest, to just, you know, align all the colors. It usually takes a lot of time, but I think that's good. Okay, let's see, now we only got the side stitches, and maybe to do something with the back pockets, even though I don't think there's much we should do with them. They already look great. So let's hit Ctrl S, save our scene. And now we finally will add a new stitch after all this time. Been waiting for that. Now for the side stitch, in most jeans they usually use the one like this, so that's what we will use. Of course there are some exceptions. Even some jeans I got, like, they got basically this same seam on the side too. Not a big fan of it, but you know, might look cool. So I'm adding a fill layer, let's name it side stitch. Again, on the base color, drag and drop it. And now guys, that's the other occasion I talked about, where we will use the warp projection tool. Yeah. So yeah guys, as you can see, it's a pretty popular one. Often comes in handy. And in this case, unfortunately, just using this will not be enough. We also need to tweak it. So how to do that? Here in the settings we set rows to however much we can set. The maximum is 16, so let's go with that. And now let's just kind of edit the vertices so they basically align with the shape. I'll probably again speed through this part because it's a pretty nitty-gritty process. Yeah, I definitely can't select this vertical. Here we got it. Awesome. Let's now where's it? Yeah, side stitch. Let's add a black mask. Kind of just paint it on here. No need to be perfect, we'll add a blur filter anyway. But I think the stitching actually turned out pretty good. In this case it was definitely easy, because the jeans are pretty much straight, so we didn't have to do too much work, but in some cases it gets really bad, so watch out. Yeah, I also think I forgot about this top piece. Yeah, perfect. Now again the color, the usual, add filter, color correct. First we again mess with the shadows. Oh, and in this case it's really good, we just can bring down the luminosity of the shadows and it basically becomes perfect. Oh yeah, look at this. Looks amazing. All we gotta do is just decrease the opacity. Maybe draw it a bit more. Yeah. Yeah, great. Awesome. And again, the same for the opposite side. And okay, this one was way easier, just due to the fact that we have already made it. Just had to duplicate it and move a few vertices around. I'm already seeing that it's not perfect, but who cares? Like honestly, who cares? It looks good, so why worry about it? I mean, we could do the same for the inside, like it's pretty much the same process, but just in order to keep the video a bit shorter, We will not do that. I'm sorry guys, but I just can't do everything in one video, because it'll be way too long. So now, what is there left with the jeans? I don't really know, like, the pockets? What can we do with the pockets? Now, one thing I would love to do though is to just add a small little hole. I think adding holes into jeans is like the most satisfying process. Actually, there might be one more thing I need to do. It's like add some discoloration, but yeah. Okay, yeah, let's start with the hole. Kind of have a lot of thoughts right now. Gotta measure them all properly. Let's drag and drop it. UV wrap none. Scale it so it's original to the source. Place it like here. This is usually where the holes are. Just like a tiny little hole. I'm telling you guys, holes always add some charm, some soul to the jeans. And they're so easy to add, like, as you can see. Just kind of cut them out. Maybe add a fill layer. Make it yellow. It's gonna add a bit of yellowish. Now the color correct, just, you know, bring it down. Really, all you need to do. Okay, in this case it looks kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie. But, oh, nah. Nah, it's not bad. Just need to maybe mess with the shadows. That's the only, yeah, exactly. That's the only thing we forgot about. Yeah, okay, great. The last thing, maybe just decrease the lightness a bit more. Yeah, okay. And increase a bit. Yeah, that's it. And now finally, the final part for the jeans would be to add something in the back, which is something like, let me show you, something like this. Also got this image of Pinterest. You can screenshot it if you want. The quality will not be the best, but you know, you can still use it. Let's drag and drop it, add a new one. Back flare. I don't think it's called flare, but that's just what I call it. I'm not gonna lie. We can now add a black mask, add fill, and use this image as our grayscale. Again with UV wrap set to none. Now we just want to kind of place it on the back. Add levels, because we want it to be the opposite. We want this part to be white. Maybe add a filter. Oh nah. It only breaks it. Let's now add it all into a new folder. Just kind of paint it around where we want it. Add a blur. And do it like this. The same goes for the opposite side. Maybe make it a bit lower. so they're not exactly the same. Yeah. Great. Maybe even bring it more up. Like that, yeah. Now the only thing I feel like is kind of missing is the pockets. But I think it's also because of the buttons, so yeah. I think we're done with the jeans, guys. Maybe if I notice something else I will add it, but now we can finally move on to the top. But before that, we need to get done with the buttons. So usually I use something like steel scratched as a starter for it. Yeah. Only apply it to the buttons. And maybe make it a bit more bronze. So all we need to do is just make like a color like this and just decrease the opacity. So yeah, something like this looks great. Also, something we can do for the pockets just to make them stand out a bit more is add a new fill layer. Only leave color and height. Color to white, height to a negative. Add generator, UV border tile. Add some smoothness. Add some contrast. Yeah, add a lot of contrast. And do something like that. So now it's not like directly at the edge, it's a bit more to the center. And if we now add a blur layer, like this, I think it looks pretty dope. Maybe increase the height, we don't want it to be that big. Yeah, great. Let's just name it back pockets. Just only assign it to them. And here we got it, some easy, free detail. Yeah, awesome. I think that these jeans look absolutely great. We can now move on to the top. So, where did my reference go? Yeah, here it is. So, for the top, I kind of want to make it pink. Something like this. Even though the shape is like this. I mean, I like the green. I definitely do like the green, but I feel like I like the pink a bit more. So let's go with that. So we do want to start with cotton. Just drag and drop it. Make a new folder, call it shirt. Let me make it affect this shirt, obviously. Really make it smaller. Make the cotton smaller. And pinpoint this color. Let's see. Maybe point a bit brighter one. Yeah, like that. Great. Let's see what would be if we tried the green one. Yeah, I think I like the pink one more. It goes well with the blue. We can also increase the value of it a bit to make it brighter and increase the roughness. But I mean, I think it's made out of like 20% polyester, so 0.7 is pretty accurate. Okay, now we of course wanna get rid of the height. Make it really small. Because most of the height we will get from another layer, which is actually not talked about enough, because if you look closely on the card, the pattern of it is actually more like this, like a knot. I was really surprised when I found out about that, but for some reason that's actually true. If you look at like your gray hoodie, stuff like that, it will probably have a pattern more like this than like the cotton. Again, we only use it for the height. So let's again mess with the height range. Just bring it out a bit. Yeah, great. Just awesome. Again, let's now add a cavity. In this layer we want to set the height to a negative value, make the color black, maybe even bring the roughness up. Add generator. Just make it affect all the edges. Awesome, just, man, this is good. This looks really good. Not to glaze, but I think this outfit is turning out to be fire. Now, another pretty important step I always like to add is, let me just show you. Just make another one. Side bump. Only leave height, bring it up. Add black mask, add generator. Again, UV border control. But in this case, we again want to increase the smoothness up, as if you remember we did with the previous one. Oh, this looks really cool too. It's like puffed. Huh. Yeah, I did not know about that. It looks really good. So yeah, we want to bring the smoothness down a bit. So if you see what I'm trying to do here, is to make those like little puffs just beside the seam line. Like I noticed it on a lot of different garments. Yeah, like this. It really adds something. Oh man. This is not good though. We'll have to remove it. But yeah. That's good. Bring the height down, we don't want it to be that much. And maybe add it into a new folder and just remove it from this part, because it's really not the best look. Add a white mask and just kind of okay, yeah, awesome. It's like a little thread here. Looks good. Now, we can also add some other stuff from other fabrics. So, for example, this fabric flannel basic material is really good. Really, really good for stuff like threading disruption, discoloration, clumps, and that's pretty much it. Again, hide them, go through them one by one. First one is clumps, just the perfect one, just perfect. I'm gonna really decrease the size of them though, because clumps are really small. remove the color of them and just make them really small like this. Great. Maybe make the color white, actually. This might look pretty good. Yeah, like that. Yeah, awesome. Now for some discoloration. We don't want it to be purple, that's for sure. Yeah, I want it to be like that, I think. Just a tiny bit. Threading disruption is pretty self-explanatory. Just some bump on the edges. Again, make it really not visible. Now we can also add some stuff like, you know, ambient occlusion, like some dirt and stuff. And we actually will do that. Let's just make a new layer, name it dirt. Yeah, name it dirt. Make the color like light yellow. Yeah. And dirt dusty. Yeah, like that. Maybe make it dark. Yeah, okay. Just a bit of dirt. It always works. Now we can maybe add some AO. Not sure how good it'll look, but we can always try. Yeah, it looks good. Like, why not? Okay, here we got a decent base. Now we can finally get to the amazing part, which is actually adding the design. Now, I really like this design, but I think it's a bit like low quality. Like this one would be just perfect. But this cross will probably go in the back. So I mean, yeah, let's just start with the cross. We'll put it in the back anyway, so we might as well start with it. Back logo. Just kind of have to get a feel for what we're working with. Okay, great. So far looking good. Place it in the back, and of course, because the shirt is like stretched, then the logo will be stretched too. That's kind of obvious, but I think it looks good. I just paint it like this. Now it's a really important part. We need to basically make it be the same color as the rest of the shirt, and this is actually a pretty hard process. Here you'll see it in a second. I mean, with stuff like this where the color is pretty much the same, it's not the end of the world, but sometimes it does get messy. All we need is a color correct node, and here the magic begins. Oh yeah, this is bad. I can already see that. I mean, there is kind of another way, like we can try to just perfectly cut out the logo. I mean, best case scenario, I should have done it in Photoshop, just kind of cut the logo out but I was low-key lazy, so we'll have to do it like this. Maybe we can actually just leave it like that. Hold on. Do y'all see the vision? Like it's... I don't know. Nah, we can't leave it like that. Come on. Have to figure something out. Highlights. These are not the highlights. It's like literally midtones. We can also try and wait, hold on, what happened? We can also try like an HSL node, hue saturation. Oh yeah, definitely does work. Oh yeah, it definitely does work. That's pretty awesome. And if we decrease the saturation in this one, here and here, I mean, I think it looks good. It's like a bit faded out. Yeah, I think that's kind of the feel we can go for. Right, I'm just making excuses, but come on, be honest. It does actually look pretty dope. Like if you think about it. Yeah. Another thing we can do to kind of break it up is, I don't know if we should do it. But like we can really make it like old and stuff. Let's see if we should do it though. We can also just decrease the lightness. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close, you know. It's as close as we'll get, probably. Yeah, this is good. I don't care. I like it. Looks pretty dope. Now, what I was talking about is by adding this black logo into a new layer and applying some kind of mask to it, like rust, we can make this logo be kind of, you know, broken up. Yeah. And I definitely just chose rust randomly, but oh my god, it works like perfectly. Wow. Not perfectly, but maybe something like what? Like rust drips. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, like that. Just make it a bit broken up. Maybe even like this. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, this was pretty tough, but we are surprisingly done with the back piece. Now, I just can't resist it. Well, let's try it. I just really love this design. We absolutely have to try it. Let's name it front logo. Drag and drop it, UV wrap to none. Same as always, and I can kind of tell that it will be pretty good. Of course it's stretched as hell. So if we kind of scale it down. It'll be really hard to match the color. No. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do that one. But we still got this one. It's pretty dope too. Let's try it. Again, drag and drop it. Front design. UV wrap none, so it doesn't repeat. Really stretched out. Let's maybe make it a bit like this. Yeah. We also want to kind of align it with the shape. And look at the colors, man, they are almost perfect. Like this design will be such a breeze. I'm telling y'all. And it looks cool, yeah. Whatever, it looks awesome, so we did not lose that much. Now, I think I'll do this one with HSL again. Just kinda decrease the lightness, decrease the saturation, and that's it. Now, to bring it back to normal, we can do it with this. Or would it be more convenient to just add a filter? Color correct. And just mess with the midtones, only with the midtones. Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely the method. Not gonna lie. Yeah, this is better. But still, oh my god. Yeah guys, aligning the colors is like the worst part about this method. I'm not gonna lie. It's a constant battle with the colors. But in the end, here you go, you get them perfect. Great. I love how it looks. Looks awesome. Looks amazing. The back piece, the front piece. Now another one I want to drop in is this one. I cut it out in Photoshop, what I should have done with all of the designs, but I decided to spend all my time on this little bitty piece. Let's see though, I think it'll be worth it, and I got a nice place for it. Exactly on the sleeve. Yeah. Just perfect. Look at that. Look at that. And yeah, guys. I think we're really close to the finish line. Now, another thing I noted in the beginning of the video is these little alpha channels I made for the shiny pearls. Let's try them out. Let's try them out. Yeah, silver. Probably silver will work the best. Yeah, great. And look at that, even with silver it looks great. That's what I love about Substance Painter. You can just try all those different things. Pearl. Black mask at fill. It's called Jewels. Jew. Wells. Set the UV wrap to none. Let's just see. They're like really bright, shiny, and cool. That's like all I can say about them. So one thing we might want to increase the height. And blur them out a bit. Maybe add some levels too. Cause y'all know there's levels to this shit. Oh my god, look at them, those like little tiny rocks. Crazy. Crazy what we can do with simple programs nowadays. Yeah, look at this, just what I wanted. I think we can definitely make them brighter, yeah. And more like gold. We might want to make a new folder just called pearls, because we have a lot of this. Let's move it somewhere else, like around here. Awesome. Duplicate it again. Oh no, don't remove mask. move them maybe on the sleeve. Or maybe like right here, right under the armpit. Let's now move to the back. And I wanna add some other variation. Maybe like what? Like this, yeah. Great. Just throw it in. Move it to the back now. Okay, great. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done. Got the jeans, got the nice shirt. Let's see what else can we add. I think we want to add maybe another hole on the jeans. Let's see. I think it might be the move. It's just, you know, add some more detail. Can go into 3D. Textures, denim parts. Yeah, I got this fire picture. Let's use it. Just go into the denim. Hole. Not much to it. UV wrapped none, as always. And I want to place it like, let's see, like right here maybe. Just cut it out so it's nice and good. Now with color correct, we want to again bring the luminosity down on the shadows. Bring the luminosity of the midtones down too, and maybe decrease the contrast of the base color. Okay, great. Great, yeah, I think it looks really cool. The hull definitely adds some detail. Yeah, I think I'll keep it actually. Okay, great. Let's maybe look at the references once more, just to see if we missed something. Not really, no. So yeah, I think it looks just awesome. So yeah guys, this is pretty much it for the texturing process. In the next part, we'll basically set the scene up in Blender. I'll cover the lighting, how to set up all the materials, how to export the materials from Substance Painter, how to set them up in Blender, all this stuff like my render settings. Yeah, we'll just bring this nice little model to life, make a scene and all. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, like and subscribe if you liked the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!